Is it worth the tag price of infrastructure in small rural clusters? Rural regions cover 75% of the European Union's territory region and are clearly the foundation of Europe's primary area. Nonetheless, they generally confront various huge difficulties, like low approach to business sectors, absence of infrastructure, the restricted scope of services, restricted job opportunities, labor provision, and a higher danger of deprivation and social prohibition. To beat such difficulties and lift their economies, rural regions are going to coordinated efforts between organizations. Just as among organizations and other significant establishments, for example, public specialists, research focuses, colleges, and so forth, which is one of the most productive means for rural sustainable development. Rural clusters and organizations are for the most part seen as one of the drivers that lead to re-established financial development and achieve competitiveness in the less evolved regions. Cluster approach through its community-oriented and agreeable practices target wide scope of financial, social, and natural issues to guarantee provincial recuperation and sustainability and build up the ever-evolving inclination for a monetary framework that levels the competition with participation, independence with cooperation, and development with value. Lately, clusters have become part of the economic progression and political plans, focusing on open consideration not exclusively to the monetary consequences of the cluster approach. Yet in addition, as an answer for issues identified with regions with a lower level of literacy rates, work versatility, assets, and innovation-based development openings. In Europe, rural regions are frequently connected with these kinds of issues. Legislations and pertinent advancement components have been set as a clear need restoring and supportability of these spaces, which are of most extreme significance for what's to come. In any case, with the financial precariousness and emergency outcomes, it became evident that the rurality experiences the most inadequacies in the social, monetary, and well-being framework. The creation and a few times reformation of rural clusters are quite often based on existing abilities and associations. When set up, two kinds of systems are regularly connected with their further growth. The first is specialization straightforwardly applicable to a specific sort of industry, while the subsequent one is affiliation in light of the connections and collaborations among nearby firms. Factors of cluster change could be summed up in four classifications: political, financial, social, and technical. The most applicable kinds of cooperation for the needs of rural regions are business groups. Clusters that have acquired noticeable popularity in monetary advancement over the most recent few decades can be considered geological groupings of interconnected firms and establishments in a specific field, and can go about as a way for areas to recognize and foster their current competitive edge. Generally, rural clusters emerged from the need to address the everyday challenges of rural regions. For example, inadequate access to fundamental services and infrastructure and significant distances between entertainers. As characterized by the Shared Value Initiative, established by Porter and Kramer, shared value is a management system where organizations track down business opportunities in social issues. To put it plainly, given the above-mentioned, shared value consolidates a business prosperity with expanded monetary and social capital for the local area where the business in discussion is based. Another important point explained by Porter is that no organization is independent. Industrial companies are normally connected with one another. They are subject to one another's creation, distribution, and utilization of labor and products. Each organization's prosperity relies upon the supporting organizations and framework around it. Let's see what different business clusters have been formed in the past with the F-Club as a non-business entity organization set up in 2014 among local entertainers. and partners of the region of Western Macedonia in Greece and shows up as a cluster. Clue B is seeking after R&D and business exercises in the fields of bioeconomy, initially bioenergy, and climate to support the green economy in the area and with the more extensive point of decarbonization in Western Macedonia. Since these tasks were approved to a great extent on their creativity, there is likewise a significant addition in the technical ability for the recipients, which is hard to measure yet critical for the exchange of information from and essentially to the locale of Western Macedonia and its partners. It is additionally worth focusing on that Clue B was set up during the financial calamity in Greece.